All right. Good afternoon, Ann. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
All
Appreciate your
right.
time today.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really excited to chat with you. You've got a very impressive background, some great administrative experience, business consulting experience. You really are bringing a lot to the table. So let's start with what you've been doing most recently for work.
Uh, Most recently, it's been the private business consulting, self-employed. I've helped a variety of companies all over the country with all types of business needs, sales and marketing, overseeing, looking at their operations, how they're doing supply chain. I've restructured a company, but I always go in with how do we make things more productive, more efficient, and without letting go people, if at all possible. But I always bring that to whether I'm an administrative assistant. I've got 20 years plus of senior sales experience that I bring that to, because the biggest thing is I look for solutions. I want it to
Right.
work well for the customer. And so whatever the case may be, that's what I do.
All right. Fantastic. And at this point in your career, so you've been self-employed, you've got a very successful business. Why are you looking to get back to working for someone else?
Well, if you know anything about consulting, unless you're with a major firm, it is not continuous. I'm single
Yep.
and I'm my only source of income, and I have 235,000 in student loans. So I'd really like the chance to go back to full-time work. Don't mind starting at the bottom to learn everything. That's the best way to do any kind of position. And go from there. If they have growth, then great, and see what I can do for them in any way I can do it.
All right, fantastic. So I would imagine throughout your career, you've had exposure to a lot of different computer software programs. Which would you say that you're the most well versed in or the most comfortable working with on a daily basis?
Um, I used to, many years ago when it was new, teach Windows and Microsoft Office. So I've been using it for a very, very long time. I'm very familiar with SAP, a variety of CRMs, including Salesforce. But I love learning and I learn very quickly. So whether it's new technology or industries and markets, products and services, or software programs, if you give me a few minutes and teach it to me at least once, I'll learn it and get it going for you.
Fantastic. Now you also have some accounting exposure as well too. Tell us a little bit about that.
Years ago, I was an office manager for an on-site construction company when they were building the new courthouse in Orlando, which is now an old courthouse. And the corporate was out of Atlanta, so I had to do all the AP locally, and along with other HR and everything the project manager needed for typing. So I kind of learned the APAR, did a couple temp jobs that way. I have my MBA, so I've taken accounting and finance. I have some basic bookkeeping and general ledger. Haven't used those in a while, but it usually takes me 2 or 3 minutes once I get going to get back up and running again. So I'm not going to shy away from it. I feel very comfortable. So whatever they're doing, I'm sure I could pick it up quickly.
You know what I really noticed when I was looking through your resume and from some of the other conversations we were having before we started recording is you're quite the Swiss Army knife. You bring a lot of different experience to the table, but you're humble about it. And I'm really excited about the opportunities that you've applied for because I think your knowledge and you being able to kind of jump in and switch hats from whatever's getting thrown at you and multitask, I think is really going to be great for wherever you land, with my clients. Now,
well, and I love to, cross train. It helps people in the end, so that if something comes up in another department out of nowhere and it's a fire, I can go to my boss and go, this is really important. Can I run over there and do this for them? Or I can do 2 or 3 departments worth of work at one time. So kind of helps to be the Swiss Army knife that way, I guess you could say.
fantastic. Now, Ann, so this is my last question, and it's always my favorite. What do you say that is the most important thing to you about the next company that you work for?
Well, I'm looking for stability, believe it or not. That may sound stupid, but I've had a lot of companies that unfortunately I've been laid off from. And some of them were very long term, but I saw the writing on the wall. Things weren't going well. They didn't want to change it. And so, entire departments were closed, or company layoffs are all over the company. And that I'm trying to get out of that, which is why every time I've been laid off, I've gone back to school or I've done my consulting work. So, I'm looking for something that I would love to be able to grow with the company. The stability would be great. I don't mind starting with someone new, but I want to make sure that in a year I'm not being laid off again. And so I know that may sound dumb. I'm sure nobody wants that, but I'm a little more cautious with the companies that I choose because I probably do more interviewing of them than they do of me. So I make sure that the next job with a company, and it's not self-employed, is the right company. And I want it to be for both of us, not just me for them, but obviously, that they're the right company for me. So
Well, I think that's very important because I think a lot of folks forget this day and age that the interview is for both parties, right? We don't want to
Absolutely,
just say
without
what we need
question.
to get the job. We want to make sure it's going to be a right fit all around because that's what makes a long lasting career move. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Well, Anne, thank you so much for allowing me to record a portion of this interview. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording and chat with you a little bit more before we wrap it up.
Thank you very much, Sam.